You felt it before. That moment when silence speaks louder than words. You look at her, and something feels different. Not obvious, not dramatic, just a quiet pull you can't explain. And immediately, doubt creeps in. Am I imagining this? If she felt something, she would say it, right? But here's the truth most men are never taught. Attraction is rarely loud. Desire is rarely announced, especially not by women who feel deeply. When a woman is secretly attracted to you, she doesn't confess. She communicates, not with declarations, but with glances, pauses, small shifts in energy that only a grounded man notices. This is a language older than words, a language written in eyes, posture, tone, and timing. And most men miss it completely. They wait for permission. They wait for certainty. They wait for her to do what she was never wired to do. And so they walk away, confused, from moments that could have changed everything. But you are here now, and that means something inside you already knows. It's time to see clearly. Because when you learn how to read what is unspoken, you stop guessing. You stop chasing. You start recognizing. And recognition changes the entire dynamic. There is a moment, subtle, fleeting, when her eyes stay on yours just a fraction longer than necessary. Not staring, not accidental, just long enough to feel something shift in the air. That moment is not random. It is instinct. Her nervous system has already made a decision before her conscious mind catches up. Because eyes do not lie. When attraction is present, the body reacts first. The eyes soften. The pupils widen. And when she holds your gaze instead of breaking it, she is inviting connection without exposing herself. This is vulnerability wrapped in restraint. And the stoic man understands something crucial here. You do not rush this moment. You do not fill it with nervous words. You meet it with stillness. Because calm is magnetic. When you return her gaze without hunger, without pressure, without expectation, you tell her something powerful without saying a word. I am safe. I am grounded. I see you too. And something inside her relaxes. Then come the touches. So light they could be dismissed as coincidence. A brush of fingers. A playful tap. A hand resting just a moment longer than necessary. These are not accidents. They are tests. She's asking her body a question. How does it feel to be close to him? And if she keeps doing it, if the distance keeps shrinking, her answer is already clear. Your response matters here. Not because you must act, but because you must not overreact. Confidence is revealed in restraint. Then there is admiration, the kind she never announces. She notices how you speak, how you handle pressure, how others respond to your presence. She remembers what you said days ago, repeats it casually, not to impress you, but because it mattered to her. This is emotional investment, and it is far more intimate than compliments, because it means you occupy space in her mind when you are not there. And when conversation deepens, when small talk dissolves into meaning, that is not chance. She is opening a door carefully, not pushing you through it, but seeing if you respect the threshold. And this is where most men fail. They perform, they impress, they overshare. But the stoic man listens. He understands that trust is built not by saying the right thing, but by holding what is given to him with care. And as time passes, you notice the smallest gestures. She brings you something without asking, adjusts something about you gently, checks in when your energy shifts. These are acts of quiet alignment, and they speak a simple truth. You matter to me. Not loudly, not dramatically, but consistently. And consistency is never accidental. At some point, if you're paying attention, you begin to notice something else. Her energy changes when you enter the space. Not dramatically, not in a way that demands attention, but subtly. Her posture shifts, her body turns slightly toward you. Her voice softens just a touch. These are not conscious choices, they are instinctive responses. When a woman feels drawn to a man, her body aligns before her thoughts do. And alignment is always honest. You may notice that she begins to mirror you, your pace, your tone, your rhythm. If you lean back, she leans back. If you slow down, she slows down. This is subconscious synchronization, a sign of comfort, of safety, of connection forming quietly beneath the surface. And the man who understands this does not exploit it. He respects it. Because attraction that grows in safety lasts longer than attraction sparked by pressure. Then there is laughter. Not polite laughter, not courtesy laughter, but genuine laughter that comes easily when you speak. She laughs a little harder at your jokes, even the ones that aren't perfect. And sometimes, she laughs before the punchline arrives. That laughter isn't about humor. It's about relief. Relief that she feels at ease around you. Relief that she doesn't have to perform. Relief that she can simply be. And when silence falls between you, it doesn't feel awkward. It feels comfortable. That is rare. Because silence only feels safe when there is trust. Most people rush to fill quiet moments. They fear being seen. But when she sits in silence with you, when she doesn't reach for her phone, when she stays present, she is choosing you over distraction. And choice is the foundation of attraction. As time goes on, she begins to share pieces of herself. Not all at once. Small truths, personal reflections, thoughts she doesn't give to just anyone. She talks about what excites her, what disappoints her, what she fears even when she tries to hide it behind humor. This is not oversharing. This is selective vulnerability. She is testing one question quietly. Can I trust him with who I really am? And this is where your response matters more than anything you could say. Do you interrupt? Do you correct? Do you minimize her experience? Or do you listen? Fully. Calmly. The stoic man understands something essential here. Listening is an act of strength. When you listen without judgment, without trying to fix, without making it about yourself, you create emotional gravity. And gravity pulls people closer without effort. You may also notice that she begins to prioritize you. She makes time. She responds thoughtfully. She remembers details you forgot you shared. Your preferences, your routines, your boundaries. This is not coincidence. Attention follows interest. When someone is drawn to you, they invest mentally before they invest emotionally. She may defend your perspective when you're not around. She may bring you up in conversations naturally, not to claim you, but because you matter. And mattering is the deepest form of attraction. Then there is respect. Quiet. Consistent. She listens when you speak, not just waiting for her turn. She asks your opinion and actually considers it. She values your time. She thanks you for it. This is not politeness. This is esteem. People do not respect what they do not value. And when respect and attraction coexist, connection deepens rapidly. But the stoic man does not inflate his ego here. He stays grounded. He understands that respect is not something to be used. It is something to be honored. So he remains steady, clear, unrushed. He does not assume. He does not pressure. Because confidence does not need confirmation. As these moments stack, the glances, the touches, the conversations, a pattern emerges. And patterns tell the truth that words avoid. Most men never see this pattern. They miss it because they are busy proving themselves, busy chasing certainty, busy forcing outcomes. But attraction does not respond to force. It responds to awareness. And once you see clearly, everything changes. You no longer wonder. You no longer guess. You observe. You feel. And you move only when alignment is clear. That is power, not dominance, not manipulation, presence. And presence is irresistible. Eventually, something shifts inside you. Not because she changes, but because you do. You stop watching her for confirmation. You stop searching her behavior for reassurance. And in that moment, the dynamic reverses, because attraction does not grow in uncertainty. It grows in emotional stability. When you no longer need to know what she feels, she begins to feel more. There is a quiet confidence that comes from self-containment, a calm certainty that says, I am whole, whether you choose me or not. That energy is unmistakable, and women sense it immediately. You'll notice she starts watching you more closely, not in curiosity alone, but in evaluation. She's asking herself something deeper now. Is this man emotionally solid? Is he consistent? Does he lead himself? Because attraction without safety eventually fades. But attraction paired with emotional strength deepens. You see it in the way she responds when you don't rush to fill space, when you don't chase her attention, when you remain steady, even when things feel ambiguous. That steadiness creates tension, not anxiety, but interest. Interest grows in space. She may test that space, pull back slightly, delay a response. Not to manipulate you, but to see if your center holds. And when it does, when you don't react, when you don't collapse into overthinking, her respect deepens. Respect is the soil where desire grows roots. This is where emotional openness becomes more pronounced. She shares something meaningful, a fear she doesn't voice often, a disappointment that still lingers. She may downplay it, laugh it off, but her eyes will tell you the truth. And in that moment, you are being trusted. Trust is not given quickly. It is earned through consistency, through how you react when nothing is demanded of you. You don't rush to solve her pain. You don't minimize it. You stay present, grounded. That presence communicates something powerful. You don't need to be fixed to be accepted. And acceptance is intoxicating. This is where many men make a fatal mistake. They mistake closeness for obligation. They lean too far, too fast. But the stoic man understands rhythm. He lets connection breathe. So when she opens emotionally, he receives it and does not cling to it. That restraint builds anticipation. And anticipation strengthens attraction more than certainty ever could. You may notice her seeking your opinion more often. Not because she lacks confidence, but because she values your perspective. She asks what you think, how you see things. And when you speak, she listens. Not just hearing words, but absorbing tone, energy. That kind of attention is intimate. It signals emotional alignment. Then there are moments when she protects the connection. She defends your character subtly. She clarifies your intentions when others misinterpret them. She notices when you withdraw and checks in without pressure. This is emotional investment. Not attachment, but care. Care is what precedes love. At this stage, attraction is no longer hidden. It is simply unspoken. And silence here is not avoidance. It is reverence. Because some emotions are too real to rush into language. They need space to mature. And you give that space. You remain consistent. You remain composed. You do not perform masculinity. You embody it. Masculinity here is not dominance. It is containment. The ability to hold emotion without being consumed by it. That capacity is rare, and rarity creates value. You'll feel the shift when her presence feels natural, effortless, when time stretches around conversations, when there is no urgency to define anything, just alignment. And alignment speaks louder than labels. At this point, you don't need signs anymore. You feel the truth in the atmosphere between you. Because attraction has moved from behavior to bond. And bonds are not rushed. They are respected. And then there comes a moment when nothing more needs to be decoded. No signs to analyze. No behaviors to interpret. No questions left unanswered. Because clarity has a feeling. And you feel it in your body before your mind ever names it. It's calm, steady, certain. This is the moment most men never reach. Not because it is hidden, but because it requires patience. And patience is rare. You notice that you are no longer waiting, no longer rehearsing outcomes in your head. You are present, fully. And presence changes everything. She feels it when she's near you. That grounded stillness. Not the stillness of indifference, but the stillness of a man who knows himself. A man who does not need to rush emotion to make it real. And this is where attraction completes its journey. Because real attraction does not climax in chaos. It settles into trust. Trust that you are consistent. Trust that you are emotionally safe. Trust that you will not disappear when things deepen. At this point, her openness is no longer tentative. She speaks freely, laughs fully, shares without bracing herself. And you realize something profound. She is not trying to impress you. She is being herself. And that is the greatest signal of all. Because people only remove their armor when they feel secure. You see it in how she looks at you now. Not searching, not questioning, just seeing. Her eyes rest on you the way someone rests near a fire. Not to be consumed, but to feel warmth. And you understand, this was never about techniques. It was about who you were being the entire time. The stoic man never chased the outcome. He embodied the qualities that made the outcome inevitable. Clarity, restraint, emotional integrity, And now, everything aligns naturally. There is no dramatic confession, no theatrical moment, just an unspoken knowing. Because some truths do not need language. They live in the space between two people who are no longer guessing. You don't lean forward anxiously. You don't retreat defensively. You remain exactly where you are. Centered, grounded, open. And that is when attraction becomes connection. Not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. You realize now why silence mattered, why patience mattered, why awareness mattered more than action. Because the man who sees clearly does not need to convince. He allows others to arrive at clarity on their own. And when she does, it feels earned, mutual, not built on illusion, but on truth. This is the payoff most men never experience. Not excitement without depth, but depth with calm. Not intensity that burns out, but connection that endures. And perhaps the greatest reward is not even the relationship itself. It is the man you became in the process. A man who trusts his perception. A man who honors emotional rhythm. A man who does not betray himself for certainty. Because once you reach this place, you no longer fear silence. You no longer fear ambiguity. You understand that what is meant for you does not require force. It responds to alignment. So if you are ever unsure again, return to this truth. Attraction whispers before it speaks. Connection reveals itself slowly. And the man who knows how to listen with his eyes, with his presence, with his restraint, he never has to chase. He becomes the place where clarity naturally arrives. And that is not just how attraction is recognized. It is how it is earned. Stay calm, stay aware, and trust what you feel when the noise falls away. Because when something is real, it does not need to be loud. It only needs to be true.